You don't squeeze it, you don't jerk it, you don't yank it, you press it. You press it. Alright, we're back for another informational video on how to do stuff. Pistols. Pew pew! So, my videos are not scripted. I kind of shoot from the hip, no pun intended. So, we'll see how this goes. I shot the video on how to grip a pistol yesterday, and today we're going to talk about making that thing go bang. Trigger press. There's a few different ways to do it, and there's a few different ways you do it with different firearms. Today, I am going to be using a Glock and a CZ73. Oh, here we go with the finger snap and CZ73. This is a hot gun. I need to clear and save it before I start dorking around with it. So, remove the ammo. There was not one in the pipe because it was in storage. I keep it in storage, not a carry gun. Magazine loaded, pipe empty. Alright, CZ73. This is a neat little thing. Excuse me, it says CZ83. Don't like about it is it has an external safety. I am a dyed-in-the-wool Glock guy. I love it. It's what I'm used to. It's what I carried for a long time around the world doing different things, and I got used to it. The cool thing about the trigger on this is that it has a spongy-like trigger. So if you ever shot at a H&K squeeze cocker, the MA, definitely has that surprise break. It can be advantageous to people. Surprise break. There is no definite stopping point of the trigger right before it goes bang. It's just a nice little sponge and break. Taking the slack out, there's essentially no slack in this trigger right there. That's it. That is what we're referencing when we say slack. Pulling the slack out of the trigger before you press and go bang. On this particular pistol, they hold this one in the trigger in the groove right here. I'm still using the center of my pad, my fingerprint, the center of the pad, not the tip and not the joint, that right underneath my fingernail. If you get too much finger on the trigger, like I would a revolver, what can happen is that can cause you to pull to the right just a little bit because people want to squeeze the firearm. The action is we're moving straight back, back, back. We're not doing this. It's just straight up and down. So if you get too much finger on there, you can go to the right. If you don't have enough finger on there, very little finger, you can tend to press to the left. Practice with whatever gun you have, whatever you use, kill bad guys on TV, whatever. Practice finding that sweet spot and then do it a whole bunch of times. So it's the same every time. With a Glock, so everybody's like, yeah, I don't like Glocks, no safeties. Well, they have like 3 safeties. You got drop safety, trigger safety, and the other safety. I drag with the trigger guard. So my finger goes to the bottom, slack out, press. I'm dragging the bottom every time versus getting up in here. And the reason is physics. Think of you got to get a bolt, a lug nut loose on a wheel, and you put the socket on and you use a 6-inch breaker bar, and you're like and it's not coming loose. 12-inch breaker bar, you can probably get it with that. The further you are from that pivot point, the less pressure it's going to take to cause rotation. The same thing applies on the trigger. If I'm up in here, it's going to require more pressure to press that trigger and go bang versus being down here. So I drag the trigger guard like so. So slack out, come up out of the holster, slack out. I know what it is on this pistol, how much slack I need to pull on this pistol versus my other Glock I'm going to pull out in a second and show you. Slack out, press. I use just beyond my fingerprint pad for a Glock, and I found that's what works best for me. I can press out, slack out, press, firearm will not move at all, reset, press. Oh, what is that? Reset? So some of you guys don't know what reset is. Reset is resetting the trigger. Trigger press, bang, hold the trigger, cycle the slide. Reset is letting that slack out just enough for the trigger to reset. Right there. Versus is taking my finger off the trigger and having to take all that slack back out. So you can go bang, reset, bang, reset, bang. Just a little faster. So be mindful of that reset. Shoot bad guys on your TV. Practice that. It'd be good for you. You guys are going to dig this. So this is my Glock 34. I love this pistol. Most importantly, I love the trigger. So I did a custom trigger job on this. I'll give you a sneak peek. Ready? Here's your sneak peek. In the trigger block, there is, I won't tell you what it is. This is my proprietary intellectual property. Thought about selling these, and I probably should. Done something in this area that makes it the way I'm about to show you. The trigger has 0 slack and extremely minimal reset. Talk about slack. So you come up and out, you're on target, slack out, press. The Glock 34, there is no slack to press out. 0 slack, baby. The trigger's like a 1911, about a 3-pound trigger, maybe 3.25. That's it. Holding the trigger, cycle, reset, right there, press, reset, and I'll take my finger off the trigger, reset, finger off the trigger, trigger did not move, so that typical slack that you have, it's gone. That is freaking awesome. So trigger press, just reviewing, what I'll do is whenever I come up out of the holster, I've rocked it up, come up and out, boom, I can essentially fire from here, slack out, and then I'll press out, it slacks already out the trigger. I'm using near my fingertip, I'm dragging trigger guard. Find out what works best, do it. If nothing I said works for you, and whatever you're doing works, keep doing what you're doing. Woohoo! All right, that's it. Deuces. Hey, right quick, I want to send a plug out to Vigilance Elite. If you haven't checked them out on YouTube, check them out. Sean's got a good channel going. Good interview in there with Don Bradley. They're both former workmates of mine, co-workers. Both really, really solid guys, good people. Don Bradley is an awesome, awesome man. He's a family man, former Green Beret for many, many years, GRS, CIA guy, and he's a solid dude. So check it out. And Sean's channel, he's got some good stuff, so take it to heart. All right, that's all I got. Later.